Hey everyone, we have a big update to Legion Space to cover today. So this is version 1.0.2.4. This is going live on the 15th of December. As we scroll through the tabs here, you can see that everything is the same except for when we get to the controller tab. That's where all the magic happens. You can see that there's two new options that have been added, which are very important for the joystick settings. That's the dead zone and sensitivity. So the dead zone defaults at 5%, but you can take it all the way down to 1%. So let's do that for now, and I'm going to test that out later on. The other cool feature is that you can adjust the joystick sensitivity. I'm going to leave it default for now. Aside from the dead zone and sensitivity settings for the joysticks, we also have some more Legion shortcuts. The one that I'm going to highlight here is the Xbox button, so you could press the Legion button left and the right joystick as a button, and that will act as an Xbox button. So I did test this out, and it pops up the Xbox game bar, but it does not pop up the Steam menu if you're in Steam big picture mode. So this might be something that maybe they'll tweak in the future, but basically it pulls up the game bar right now. And you can see on screen right now, that's what the Xbox button should pull up if you use it in Steam. Now we'll test the dead zone at gamepadtester.com to make sure that there's no drift, and you can see that it is drifting right now. This is at 1%. If you take a look at the figures here just above the joysticks, you can see that they're moving slightly, so that means that there's a very slight drift. But before you think that something's wrong with this is actually really nice that they're allowing us to turn it down all the way down. So don't be thrown off by this. Every joystick has some inner dead zone if you turn it all the way down to pretty much 0. Oftentimes when you turn it down to 0, it's not actually 0, there's a small buffer built in. Now let's test out 3% to see if it drifts at all. So here you can see that it's very slightly drifting, so let's try 5%. And now at 5%, which is the default, you can see that there's no drift when you're not touching the joysticks, and you can still push the joystick just a little bit to get the motion. So 5% really does seem like a good balance. And now for the more important test, how does it work in a game that was having a dead zone issue like Starfield? Before I show you the results on the new Legion Space, this is what it was like before the update. So you can see I'm moving the joystick a fairly decent amount before we actually move. And why I picked Starfield in particular is that it has an issue that you can't adjust the dead zone in games. There was no options to actually fix this. We were just stuck with what we had. And now on the new Legion Space update with a 5% dead zone, you can see that I'm touching the joystick just very slightly, and I am getting even micro inputs, so this is really good. It seems that the issue is fixed. For the sake of the experiment, we're going to turn it down to 1% and test it again. And now looking at 1%, you can see that it's even more responsive, but with 5% it was perfectly fine. There's no drift when you leave the joysticks alone either, so that means that that very small drift that we saw on Gamepad Tester isn't affecting in-game. It seems that the inner dead zone issue has now been fixed. This was my only complaint with this device previously. So once again, this update will be going live on your device on December 15th. It should automatically update in Legion Space. There are some other minor updates to the software that I'm going to cover in the weekly recap. Today I just wanted to really quickly show you that the dead zone issue is fixed because that has been probably the biggest issue facing this device. I'm excited to see how quickly they address this issue and that they're taking community feedback seriously. And of course, giving us weekly updates has been very encouraging. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this video and thank you for watching.